refuses to be sworn or affirmed. Having been sworn or affirmed, refuses to answer a question put to him or her. C, refuses or neglects to produce a document or thing which he or she is required to produce, or when lawfully required to do so, refuses to sign his or her deposition. Without any such case offering any lawful or reasonably sufficient excuse for the refusal or neglect, the court may adjourn the case for any period not exceeding 8 days and may, in the meantime, commit the person in prison unless he or she sooner what is required of him or her. The Commission has powers that are akin to the High Court, and the Commission can resort to this particular provision. I am not asking that the Commission commits Mr. Touray to prison, should in case he refuses to be sworn in. But what I am asking for is that he be given another opportunity to come back, such that the record would be absolutely clear that when it is referred in the High Court, his previous action would be misinterpreted. At least it would be very clear. It wouldn't appear that, at least we want to remove every doubt that Mr. Touray is not cooperating with the Commission.
Thank you, Counsel. Can you come for a brief consultation, please?
Much obliged.
Thank you, Counsel, for that brief consultation. You may bring in the witness.
Please invite Mr. Touray to come in response to the subpoena. Thank you. The commissioners want to give you another opportunity to go inside the hearing room to testify on the oath.
What can they hear me from here?
No, you cannot speak here. You must, before you speak, you must.
I'm not going because the problem is the commission.
The mic is off right now.
It's off.
Yeah.
Can I see somebody else?
If you want to speak, you must.
No, let me have a meeting because we had a meeting first. And then let me have somebody to discuss with first.
So you are not going
to on the oath?
Yeah.
To testify on the oath?
Yes.
Hello?
All right. Excuse me. Sorry. Mr. Touray, the commission is inviting you pursuant to the subpoena served in you to come and respond to the subpoena by entering an appearance before the commission. Are you prepared to come in and respond to the subpoena and appear formally before the commission.
You want me to respond to you?
Yes.
We had a preliminary meeting. The
I'm
chairman
not
promised me that they are going to have a meeting. The commissions, they are going to have a meeting. And
Are you coming in or you not coming?
I came in.
Are you prepared to formally enter an appearance and appear before the commission?
Yeah, I can appear before the commission.
And be sworn in?
What does that mean?
You have to take an oath, promise to tell the truth, and testify before the commission.
No, I'm not going to testify.
You're not going to appear?
I'm not going to testify before the commission.
All right. So you're not coming in?
I can appear, but I will not testify. I will not testify. I will not answer any of your questions.
I am telling you that it is a criminal offense. It's a contempt of court if you fail to answer the questions by the commission.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you want to come in and refuse to answer questions?
Yeah, I will not answer any of your questions.
You may come.
No, I'm not coming as well.
Okay. You're refusing to appear before the commission?
Yes, sir. The protest is,
answer the question.
Is this an ambush?
Okay, that's the end of it. I am nothing saying nothing else.
Is this an ambush?
Can you end it there? I'm not here to answer questions.
Okay.
I am here to inform you that you are invited by the commission to come and appear. If you refuse to come and appear, that would attract consequences. The chairman has already made a pronouncement on that. This is a second chance you are being given to come and formally appear before the commission. If you refuse, we leave it at that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you for graciously allowing council to give Mr. Touray a second chance to appear formally before the commission and be sworn in and to testify. In the witness room, he has clearly indicated to me that he refuses to appear formally before the commission because he would refuse to be sworn in and to testify. All that aside, we want it clearly on the record. We want to know exactly what Mr. Touray is going to do, such that it would be clear to everyone. There won't be any doubt as to what he is trying to do. Mr. Touray, here you are. You're sitting right in front of the commission. Are you ready to formally appear and testify before the commission?
I am ready to appear before the commission, formally.
Can you take the oath, please?
I, Yakuba Touray.
I, Yakuba Touray.
Do swear that.
Do swear that.
I'll speak the truth.
I'll speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council. You may proceed with the questioning.
Yes. Mr. Touray, can you tell us your full names, please?
I am Yakuba Touray.
Where do you live?
Bijilo.
Mr. Touray, what the conversation we are going to have is being translated for other people to hear. it is also being recorded, so it would be helpful for us to allow about 3 seconds in between our speeches, such that our speeches would not overlap. Can you give us information about your educational background? Microphone, please.
From 1974 to 1979, and then Muslim High School from 1979 to 1984.
And what's your date of birth?
My date of birth, 9 June 1966.
Can you tell us what you did upon completion of high school?
I joined the Gambian National Army in 1986.
And kindly tell us your progression within the army from 1986 onwards.
I was a private soldier in 1986, later promoted to Lance Corporal in 1988, later 1989 a corporal, and 1990 sergeant. 1991 then I went to Fort Benning, Georgia for the Infantry Officer Basic Training School.
When did you complete the training?
In 1991.
And tell us what you did when you returned to Gambia.
When I came, I was posted at Kudang military camp as the camp commandant.
Proceed, please.
And later posted to Farafenye between 1993 and 1994.
During this period, can you tell us what were the problems within the Gambia National Army?
I am not going to testify regarding that, please. I invoke my constitutional immunity on all those issues.
Mr. Touray, I warn you that this is not the place to raise the issue of immunity. If you want to raise immunity claim, you take it to the High Court. Let me just finish. This is a truth commission. It's not a civil or criminal proceeding. It is, in fact, not a legal proceeding. So the claimed immunity does not apply to a fact-finding mission by the Commission of Inquiry.
Council, I still stand by my position that I invoke the constitutional immunity. The Constitution is the supreme law of this country. Any proceeding that is against the 1997 Constitution, I am not going to testify, and I will not answer any questions.
You may want to hide behind that, Mr. Touray. Let me finish, Mr. Touray. Mm-hmm. You cannot be interrupting me when I speak. I would also accord you the same respect. I would not interrupt you when you speak. Mm-hmm. So we have to observe proper decorum in the proceedings of the Truth and Reconciliations Commission. Agreed?
I'm listening.
Good. I will not enter into a legal debate with you as to whether immunity applies here or not. I would proceed to ask my questions and would remind you that it is an offense under the laws of the Commission, under the TRRC Act, for failing to answer questions by the Commission. You understand?
I understand. I have gone through your laws and your rules of procedure.
Thank you very much.
So Council, please let us not prolong this issue. In the sense that I have appeared, when you ask me whether I'm going to appear and testify, I made it clear that I am going to appear. So the issue of testimony before this commission is out. And I do not recognize the legitimacy of this commission when I have constitutional immunity. I am not going to continue further.
I would tell you.
You may also use all your legal tools, and then we will proceed and see. I thank you. I'm not speaking. I invoke my constitutional immunity.
Mr. Touray. Mr. Touray, may I inform you that under section 125, so, Mr. Chair, okay. Mr. Chair, I think, hold a second. Okay. Mr. Chair, it is quite obvious that Mr. Touray is refusing to comply with the subpoena simply because he has come, entered an appearance, and refuses to answer questions, even though those questions do not even have anything to do with the immunity that he claims. The immunity, if it applies at all, applies for actions that occurred from July 22nd onwards. The question, what were the problems in the army in 1994, have nothing to do with the immunity he claims to have. In this regard, we ask that the Commission maintains the order that the chairman has issued previously. We thought that by giving him the red carpet to come back here, Mr. Touray would show respect to the Commission and proceed. But what we have seen is that he continues to treat the Commission with contempt and with great disrespect. This is a time that all Gambians are looking to our people to show good regard for the rule of law, to show respect to our people and our institutions. What we have seen is a blatant disregard of that. So on that regard, I crave the indulgence of the Commission to institute or to restate the order that the chairman had just given some minutes ago by ordering the arrest of Mr. Yakuba Touray. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Counsel. The statement that I read earlier.
Perhaps.
Sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
So I said the statement I read earlier stands. We just gave you the opportunity. Didn't believe that it was going to happen, and what I had feared occurred. But anyway, the statement stands. The order stands as well. If we don't have any more points to raise, I would adjourn the meeting and